So, Sue, what is it that you would like to spend some good quality time thinking about today?
I started to ponder this about a week ago and then decided not to think about it anymore because my head was just going. But what I wrote a couple of days ago, and it still holds true, it's to do with the current time, the current situation with the virus and lockdown. And in some ways, I feel I'm having probably the most challenging time in my life.
Mm.
And what I wrote down was I want to keep stroke rediscover my courage. And I remember an old boss saying to me when I knew I was coming back from Australia to here, gosh, you're brave. And I've had that said to me at different times in my life. And I hadn't remembered that until I got to this sort of courage piece.
Mm.
And then literally just before I logged in this morning, I remembered a film called The Grifters. And it's where nasty people want to hurt someone and they use a bag of oranges and they beat the person with the bag of oranges so that the oranges get the bruise but the person doesn't, but actually it hurts them internally. And that's what I'm feeling at the moment, that my courage is being bruised and bruised and bruised. And it's really it's bothering me.
Mm. And I can hear the hesitation in your voice and I'd invite the tears to come if they're there.
Oh, they're coming.
Yeah, let's bring them into the room. And what are those tears saying to you if they could speak?
That the bruises will go away, that they're just temporary, and that I've always been brave. But I think part of this situation at the moment that we're all in, I live on my own. I've lost touch, as in physical touch with people, and I don't have anybody to bounce off in a. Well, I do, but I don't. Which is why I want to find my courage again.
Mm.
I know it's there, and it's stood me in good stead all my life.
Mm.
Because I think unless I can find my courage and manage that or allow it to be, I can't be a good coach. I don't want to bring my tears into the coaching room and bring my crap and baggage with me, because that's not who I am. I am fascinated by my clients and what they want. But yeah.
So, where would you like to get to by the time we finish working together at 25 past?
I think even just having spoken about it is helpful. I'm already feeling, I don't know, a bit lighter. Where would I like to get to? Some kind of perspective on the bruising in relation to the courage that I have.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
So, how will you know you've got what you need?
I'm not quite sure. I think it will be a feeling. And maybe an ability to, I don't know, speak about my courage in a stronger way.
Okay. We're trying to access your courage so that you can speak about it in a stronger way.
Yeah.
And what are you thinking we might need to cover in order to get to that end point?
Maybe where it comes from. Where does the courage come from? That's just popped into my head.
Yeah. Anything else we need to cover?
And I guess if I work out where it comes from, I know how to access it.
Yeah.
And keep it present rather than hidden.
And how would you like us to work together to achieve that?
I think asking me questions about it, because I haven't spoken about it to anybody until now. So it's just even now, as I say, trying to access it, work it out where it comes from. So I think some kind of exploration around that would be helpful.
Yeah.
And you can challenge me by all means. I'm not frightened of the challenge. Even if it evokes more tears, that's not a problem.
All right, we'll bring them back into the room if they desire to be here. So where would you like to start, Sue, in figuring this out?
Maybe it's a definition of courage. Yeah, I guess that's a good place to start.
Go on then.
Define it. It's just taking me back to I was my first year at primary school, so I was 5, and I'm an only child. And I say that because Mum used to come and pick me up from school, and I must have convinced the teachers that she was there or something, because I wanted to prove that I could walk home on my own.
Oh, so brave.
And I did. God knows what she was going through, but I did. And so it's it's very much a part of me as being an independent person. It's like, I can do this, and I did it. Yeah.
So it's been in you since childhood.
Yeah. And the thing is, I was never a naughty child. It wasn't I was trying to be naughty. It was more around an internal, I don't know, something which said, go on, you can do this. You're big enough and old enough and strong enough, or whatever the words were, to do this. And I did it. It's like, yeah, I can do that. I never did it again because I didn't need to, but I knew I could.
Yeah, you'd proven that you could do this courageous thing.
Yeah.
So what does that story bring into today's learning?
That I still have that strength. I still have that. It's that sort of that combination of what I just said, in that I am brave and I am strong, but I don't blatantly sort of flout the rules. I like to work within boundaries that I understand, unless I think there's a moral or ethical problem, and then I will absolutely rail against them. So that hasn't changed either. Absolutely hasn't changed. And the way it comes out, I think, in my coaching, it's not about, oh, hi, you can be brave like me. I never talk about that at all. But it's more around an encouragement when someone's talking about their hopes or aspirations, and I really am excited and enthusiastic about supporting them to live or realize those aspirations. And even though I don't use those words, they say that back to me. You know, that was so inspirational, or, you know, you're so motivating, you're so upbeat. And I'm like, am I? Okay. You know,
so it oozes out of you.
I'm afraid it does.
Don't be afraid.
It does. Yeah, it does. Yeah, because I just believe that everybody has something valuable to give to the world, whatever that might be. And I absolutely, truly believe that.
And what I'm noticing is that your value, or one of the pieces of value that you bring as a coach, is this encouragement for people to be courageous, even without using the words.
Yeah. Because I'm just thinking about a couple of the testimonials I've got, thinking of one person, and he said something about words to the effect of like taking him to places that he hadn't thought about. And even though some of it might have been uncomfortable, it was helpful to go there, and then he just sort of went for it. Yeah.
So Stu, we're halfway through. What do you know now that you didn't know at the beginning?
That I use courage in my coaching. I don't think I'd made that, well, I hadn't made that connection. And I think that because I'm feeling my courage has been bruised and knocked about, am I not going to be able to support my clients to be courageous?
So how would you like to use our remaining 8 minutes?
I'm just amazed I've got to that this quickly. How would I like to? I think it's about, so now it's around keeping it, and I'm doing this, I can feel I'm doing this. It's like, I don't want this to go. It's always there, but the bruising and I feel the battering, that has made me feel very vulnerable. And I can, my voice is shaking just thinking about it. I want to hang on to what I've just been talking about. I don't know why I suddenly got really shaky. The thought of losing it.
So how would it be if we stayed with it?
Yeah, I absolutely need to stay with it. I want it manacled to me. You know, it's actually part of me. I don't want it to ooze out of every pore. You know, you say I do. I don't want to lose it that way, because it's important for me. I do a lot of yoga, and on the yoga mat, it's important to be strong and courageous about believing in the process, the breathing, the fact that you can actually do things you never thought you could do. Yeah, I want to hang on to it.
So what's something we can experiment with to enable you to hang on to it?
I'm not sure. I don't know what it is that triggers the fact that I might feel like I'm losing it. I'm not quite sure what that is. And then just last week was not a great week. A few things happened, and it was like, really? More bruising, but actually nothing was insurmountable. So it was almost a case of, I don't know, maybe it's saying, if there is bad news, or news that I would rather not get, or I wanted a different outcome, maybe it's some way of connecting that to say, okay, is that taken its toll on my courage, or what's the connection between the two? I can still be the courageous person I am and be a courageous coach just because I've heard some news that I prefer not to have got. Okay, I think it's that, like putting it into perspective, maybe.
Yeah, you've used perspective as a word a couple of times. What's that going on for you?
I think last week it felt a bit overwhelming. I think there were 4 pieces of news, let's say, or outcomes. And by the time I got to the last one, I just about had it. And that's when the bruising was happening. So I think maybe what I hadn't done is taken each one, and that's my perspective. So how bad is this really? Does that have to be the end result? What are the options? But I don't think I did. I don't think I did that each time and put it into perspective in the great scheme of things. I just let the bruises keep coming, and that's what it felt like. Oh, another one. Oh, another knock. And that's not like me. That's, I'm usually, okay, well, let that one go. We'll just work on the next thing. What's the plan? I'm a project manager, let's just get on and do it. But this last week, it felt like it had hit my core. And it's like, oh gosh, that's just really shaken me up. I don't know why.
So Sue, we have 3 minutes to work with. You said at the beginning you wanted to get some perspective and to be able to recover your courage. So where are you now?
I think the most valuable thing for me to have learned actually is the fact that not only am I courageous, which I knew, but that I use that in my coaching. I just didn't even make that connection. And that's, to me, it's making me smile inside and out. That's fantastic. I think I need to anchor that one. I need to remember that, because that's what my clients get. A courageous space, or a space to be courageous. And if they don't want to be, that's fine.
And you say you want to anchor that. How might you anchor it?
Go back and reread my testimonials. But actually, I think just reminding myself that they're working with me to help themselves, and if they can take from our partnership together something of me that's of value to them, then that's good. That's good. Yeah, I don't need to bring my bruises into the coaching space.
And I'm wondering whether there's anything else that you are committing to coming out of this space.
Well, I'm doing yoga pretty much every day now, so I'm going to take this learning into, I don't know what session I'm going to do, but I'm going to take it in. No humble warriors today. Well, maybe I will be humble warrior, but remember the courage it takes to stand on a yoga mat and be who I am.
I hear you really integrating it into other parts of your life as well as your coaching.
Yeah.
And what have you learned about yourself today that you can apply in the whole of your life?
just carry on doing more of the stuff that has helped me all my life and that is now supporting my clients to do whatever they need to do. Yeah.
What support might you draw on to achieve that, to do that?
I think it will be in yoga.
Okay.
And I've got a book on the chakras, and actually it's the base, it's the grounding, it's the roots connection. So I'm going to do a bit of reading when we finished, and then take that into whatever I do this afternoon.
Yeah.
Whew.
So is that a good place to finish?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.